Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to our witnesses for coming and testifying today. I'd like to extend special appreciation to the Oregonians here, Professor Rolfe and Mr. Joseph. Thank you both for coming. It's always a lovely day to have Oregonians and natural resources. The Equal Access to Justice Act, or EJA, as we have been talking about, promotes fairness in the court system by helping a single person or small group of people take on the federal government. EJA helps ensure that regardless of income or power, the American people can hold the federal government accountable and in limited circumstances be spared the financial burden of government error. These actions not only give Americans a voice in the courtroom, they also deter future government misconduct and federal overreach. Stakeholders from across the political spectrum have used EJA. Veterans, Social Security recipients, individuals with disabilities, tribes, industry, and yes, environmental groups have all recouped attorney's fees in cases where the government has acted illegally. EJA corrects an imbalance of access to the American justice system. To get reimbursed under EJA, litigants must meet rigorous standards to even petition for an award. The number one being that they don't get paid if they don't win their case against the US government. That's why Republican claims that the lawsuits are frivolous is frankly confusing. Cases that receive an EJA award are by definition not frivolous. If my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are so concerned about the cost of the 11 EJA awards last year against the Department of the Interior and another 11 against the Department of Agriculture, I'm curious to hear what they think about the nearly 10,000 EJA awards against the Social Security Administration or the 6,000 against Veterans Affairs. In addition to my role on this committee, I also sit on the Veterans Affairs Committee. I am concerned that attacks on one smaller group could open the door to attacks on the ability of veterans to get their due from the government. It's not just me that's concerned. I request unanimous consent to enter into the record a letter from VetLeg, a nonprofit group that represents veterans. They have won thousands of cases,
No objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. They have won thousands of cases reinstating benefits to those who have fought for our country. But VetLeg wouldn't be able to take many of these cases on without the help of EJA and recouping attorney's fees. My Republican friends have complained that some environmental groups win their EJA cases too much. Do they think that VetLeg also is too good at their jobs and that they should be cut off from EJA? Under normal circumstances, I would think my colleagues would never consider such a thing. But we find ourselves in unprecedented times, which includes a wholesale attack by Republicans on access to courts. If reforms to EJA are on the table, let me be very clear. I'm only interested in good faith efforts to improve transparency or changes that would help small public interest litigants across the political spectrum get access to the courtroom. Any changes to EJA that would make it harder for rural or in low-income communities, individuals, small businesses, or organizations to access justice is a non-starter. Reducing EJA eligibility in that way would be a giveaway to large firms and industries when it is specifically designed to give regular people the opportunity to hold powerful entities to account. Mr. Chair, we should agree that working people should be able to challenge the federal government. Making EJA harder to access would essentially lock the underdogs out of the courtroom. If abuse of the judicial system is of interest to my colleagues, they could focus on SLAPP lawsuits. Strategic lawsuits against public participation are frivolous lawsuits brought by people or companies with a lot of money to silence their opposition and drain their small bank accounts. In 2016, the Standing Rock Sioux tried to stand up to a massive fossil fuel pipeline proposed to go across their sacred land and over their water supply. The eyes of the world turned to Standing Rock. One of the many groups and people that were there to support them was Greenpeace. Energy Transfer is now close to destroying Greenpeace through a SLAPP suit. I would be happy to provide the chairman with other actual and egregious examples of judicial abuse. Until then, I look forward to the conversation about protecting access to the courts for working families. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield.